In this video, I'm going to show you how you can effectively raise your IQ by 10 points or more, basically from one moment to the next. And I know that sounds surprising, I know that sounds crazy, but if you really think about it, I think by the end of this video, you're going to understand what I mean and you're going to agree with me, and if you try it, then it'll work for you. So, for one thing, having a high IQ just makes everything easier. The more intelligent you are, the faster you can solve problems, the faster you can come up with solutions to problems, the more witty you are in response to social conversations. There's a lot of good things in your work and in your personal life where this is going to help you. So I think it's absolutely worth your time. And so here's what to consider. So I'm going to give you a little bit of context before I tell you what exactly to do. Think about, in your own life, sometimes you have felt intelligent, or sometimes you have acted intelligently, and sometimes you have not acted intelligently. I think that's the truth for just about everybody, at least relatively. Sometimes you are at your best, sometimes you're not at your best. What was the difference? Think about that. What was the difference between the time that you were at your best and the time that you were not at your best? Now, there's some things that are obvious, right? If you're drunk, you're not going to be at your best. If you're tired, you're not going to be at your best. If you just ate a whole pizza and a bucket of ice cream by yourself, you're probably not going to be your best. Right? And so what you can do is you can reflect on those things and you can say, okay, well, clearly the things that I put in my body, the food or the drink that I put in my body, or the amount of sleep that I get, the quality of sleep that I get, that affects my intelligence day to day. So if I would like to be more intelligent tomorrow than I was today, I could eat better food, I could get better sleep, I could drink less alcohol, do less drugs. That's one way you can make yourself effectively more intelligent. And by the way, I'm talking practically here. I'm not talking about theoretical, like your maximum intelligence potential. I'm talking about day to day, when it's actually counts. Is your brain able to come through? Is your mind able to have the clarity that it needs in order for you to have the life that you wanted to reach your goals? That's what really matters to you, isn't it? That's what matters to me. So the obvious ones are: don't get drunk, eat good food, etc. Take care of your health. Now there's some perhaps less obvious ones, but if you think about it, it has a lot to do with emotion. And I'm not talking about emotional intelligence, EQ. That's not it at all. But if you think about, if you're really, really angry, have you ever done something stupid when you're really angry? Probably, I sure have. Or when you're afraid, when you're feeling very anxious, are you able to, is your mind performing at its best when you're anxious? Probably not. So, if you will identify what are those states when you perform poorly, what are those emotional states when you perform poorly, and then conversely, what are the emotional states when you perform at your best? Usually you're feeling calm, feeling confident, you're feeling optimistic, you're feeling generally contented and happy. Am I right? If that's the case, then if you would like to make yourself more intelligent next moment as compared to this moment, then what can you do to reduce those emotional states that are making you less intelligent and increase those emotional states that make you more intelligent? Now, interestingly, if you look at the research on what has been tested to increase people's IQ, there's not very much that has been actually tested and proven to increase IQ, but there is one thing that has been, and that is this, I don't even know what to call it. It's therapy, I guess you could call it, called 40 years of Zen or 20 years of Zen, something like that, which is basically this like really intensive meditation process that's like a week-long thing, and it's super expensive. And so this thing, it's the idea behind it is that it provides the experience of like the brain training of somebody, of a Zen monk, of 20 years of their training all condensed into a 1 week package or whatever the time period is. And so I thought that was really interesting because it's exactly what I just said, that your emotional state determines your intelligence from moment to moment. And so if you can be zen, if you can learn to be calm, if you can learn to be quiet and relaxed and feel safe, which ultimately, when we talk about confidence, intelligence is very much related to confidence. The more confident you are, the more your intelligence has room to thrive. The more you have mental clarity, where if you're anxious and you're nervous and you're so worried about what other people are thinking about you, or you're worried about what's going to happen tomorrow, then your brain like shuts down, and you don't have access to the full faculties that you otherwise could. And so if you are a Zen monk and you practice meditation, well, that it becomes your normal state to be in that state of calm and that state of that state of confidence, which, I mean, they call a Zen state. So if you can learn that, then that will make you more intelligent day to day, and I can't speak highly enough about the benefits of meditation. If you meditate regularly, if you can get meditation to be kind of your normal everyday state, then you're going to be so much more effective, because you'll be able to control your emotions and you'll be able to stay calm. Now, one of the drawbacks to the IQ test is that it's a written test, and so some people, when they take a test, they feel calm and confident and they do their best. Other people, when they do a test, then they feel nervous, they feel anxious, especially when it's a test that is measuring your intelligence, which in modern society is almost like measuring your value as a human being, which I think is absolutely wrong. We should not put such a high emphasis on intelligence, but that's the way most people think about it. That's the way that society pushes it on us. So if you're taking a test that's going to give you the result of your intelligence, that, for a lot of people, that makes them nervous. If you're nervous, what's it doing? It's pushing down your intelligence. So because confidence, because this feeling of safety, of relaxation, of being able to open your mind is very context specific. You can feel that way when you feel safe. Because of that, your intelligence is also very context specific. So if you feel safe taking a test, then you're going to score relatively high on the test. If you do not feel safe taking the test, you're going to score relatively low on the test. Now, when I'm talking about practical intelligence, the same is true if you're out socializing with people. A lot of people who test as very intelligent are not very good at socializing, and it's really the inverse of the same thing. They go out and they start talking to people, and they're all in their heads, and they're insecure, and their brain is shutting down, and so they're tongue-tied. And so that person that was super intelligent in the classroom is all of a sudden super dumb when he goes out to a party or to a bar. It's the same thing. You're shutting yourself down from the mental faculties that you could otherwise have. So for highly intelligent people, intelligent in the conventional sense, this is a massive revelation. It was for me, because I always felt comfortable taking tests, and I did very well on tests. I did very well on IQ tests. But going out and socializing with people, I did not feel comfortable, and so I did it like an idiot. And so if you learn to meditate, learn to quiet your mind, learn to control your emotions, to stop that mental chatter, when your mind is chattering away about what are you going to say next, and what is this person thinking about you, and blah, 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 just calm it down, quiet it down. If you meditate, then that's normal for you. When you meditate, you sit there, you focus on your breath, you focus on the noises that you're hearing around you, whatever you choose to focus on, and then you start thinking about what you're going to have for lunch today, then you recognize that, oh, I'm not supposed to be thinking about what I'm having for lunch today. I'm supposed to be focusing on my breath, and you shut that thought down. When you acquire that ability to shut thoughts down, then you make yourself more intelligent whenever you do that. It's kind of a paradox that the less you think, the more intelligent you become and the more effective you become. But if you will try that in whatever situation, whether it's taking a test or it's socializing with people, whatever situation is a measurement of your performance where you do not feel comfortable, see if you can do that. See if you can quiet your mind, quiet that mental chatter, and just be present to the moment. I bet you that you will find that it increases your mental ability significantly. And if you will make that a standard practice, if you make that like a daily practice, if you do a daily meditation practice, then that becomes normal for you. It becomes something that you can do on command, and you become far more effective as a person in pretty much every area of life.